YouTube. In today's video, we got the Memphis Grizzlies just blew up their entire team. Let's get straight to it.
On Conchar, Jacques Landale and Vince Williams Jr. now have landed Jaren Jackson Jr. from the Grizzlies. With
Wait, whoa. Jaren Jackson Jr. was traded to the Jazz? Why? Like, I'm not gonna lie, bro. I'm gonna keep it a buck. They should have kept fucking Dillon Brooks. They should have kept that team they had back in 2020. That was a finals contender team, and they broke up the whole team. I hate when NBA teams do that shit, bro.
3 future first round.
I have a hard time believing that future is going to include John Morant.
Less than 8 months ago, the Memphis Grizzlies gave Jaren Jackson Jr. a 5-year, $240 million contract extension.
Crazy bread.
That was supposed to be a commitment. That was supposed to be a statement. And now they just traded him to Utah in one of the strangest trades we've ever seen.
And this is why I say, bro, y'all be like, oh, that player would never leave. It's not even up to the players half of the fucking time now, bro. It's up to the organization. Because it seemed like they're trading everybody from Luka to AD to the fucking Wizards to James Harden to the Cavs. Like, this shit is crazy, bro.
Memphis Grizzlies are trading Jaren Jackson Jr., John Conchar, Jacques Landale, and Vince Williams Jr. to the Utah Jazz for Walter Clayton Jr., Kyle Anderson, Taylor Hendricks, Georges Niang, and 3 future first round.
Okay, Walter Clayton Jr. is a fucking bucket. I see what they're trying to do. Now that we're talking, they might be trying to build a team around Walter Clayton Jr. Because as we seen back in the tournament of March Madness, that nigga is a bucket. Let's talk about it.
Picks. If you think that's crazy, just wait until you hear about what the Memphis Grizzlies' next plan is, because they're not done blowing up this team. John Morant is still on the roster, but not for long. So guys, the trade deadline's here. We're pumping out content like crazy. Make sure you subscribe and have our notifications
Make sure y'all hit that subscribe,
and also check us out on Instagram and TikTok if you want shorter breakdowns. What's going on, everybody? So there's one question everybody is asking. Why on earth would the Memphis Grizzlies do this? Well, in order to understand, you have to go back, all the way back to 2022 to 23. Memphis was the up-and-coming team in the Western Conference. They were 51-31. Jaren Jackson Jr. won Defensive Player of the Year. He led the league in blocks for the 2nd straight season at 3 per game. And he made his first All-Star team. John Morant looked like a top 5 player. Desmond Bane was lights out from 3. That big 3 was supposed to be the next dynasty in the West.
Don't forget Dillon Brooks, my nigga. Like, Dillon Brooks, that nigga was, he was cooking. When I mean cooking, he was really playing his role as a defensive player. And now that he's with the Suns, he's showing that he can offensively cook up, like really put in a blender and just, oh my gosh.
They even had a defensive enforcer in the form of Dillon Brooks. This team was perfect.
Yeah.
Then it all fell apart in spectacular fashion. The 2023-24 season was a disaster, 27-55. Last year, they bounced back to 48-34, but they got swept by the OKC Thunder in the first round. And even before that, this team was in disarray. Memphis fired Taylor Jenkins and brought in Tomas Lisalo from Europe. And then in the offseason, they traded Desmond Bane to Orlando for 4 first-round picks and players.
Which was the most dumbest shit they could have done, bro. Like, I don't know why they got rid of that coach, because that coach was bringing a whole new culture to Memphis. And this is why I always say I feel like the NBA is a script, bro. Because every time a team gels together, for some fucking reason, the organization has to trade them, fire the coach for no apparent reason. It's stupid.
They said they were going to keep Jaren Jackson Jr. and John Morant. And on June 30th, they extended Jaren Jackson Jr. for $240 million. They literally restructured the entire roster around keeping him. And 7 months later, they traded him away. Why? Well, this season has been a catastrophe. The Grizzlies are 19-29, 11th in the West. They've been dealing with injuries. Zach Edey is out until March, and John Morant has only played in 20 games this season.
Nah, that's crazy.
The Grizzlies' biggest story for all the wrong reasons, such as this.
What went wrong to you today?
Go ask the coaching staff.
It didn't look like you had your usual energy tonight.
Go ask the coaching staff why.
Hey, not Harden. Morant does not give a fuck, bro, at all. Like, have y'all seen his expressions? I think he does want to leave, and I think he has potential to go play with Anthony Edwards. And if he goes play with Anthony Edwards, that's going to be a crazy-ass duo. Let's talk about it.
The Grizzlies suspended Ja for 1 game after this. Sources say that he felt alienated by teammates after the suspension and essentially made a silent trade request. Then during the Euro trip in January, he and Vince Williams Jr. got into a verbal altercation during an open shoot-around in Berlin. Through all of this, Jaren Jackson Jr. was the one constant, leading the team, anchoring the defense, being the only reliable presence while the building burned down around him. And he got traded before Ja Morant did. So let's break this down.
Which
Obviously,
is crazy.
The biggest loser of this trade is Rich Paul. You remember when Rich Paul said this?
If I was the Lakers, I would probably be targeting the Memphis Grizzlies as a trade partner for Jaren Jackson. But this comes with a
Austin Reeves.
This comes with a very unemotional attachment. There's a world where you can do what's best for your team and do what's best for Austin, because Austin deserves to get paid.
So let's break this down. Memphis
I don't think there's
gets
nothing
Walter
wrong with
Clayton
that.
Jr., Kyle Anderson, Taylor Hendricks, Georges Niang, and 3 first-round picks. Those picks are the most favorable first between the Cavaliers, Timberwolves, and Jazz picks that Utah owns, the Lakers 2027 first, and the Phoenix Suns 2031 first. That Suns pick is fascinating because who knows where Phoenix will be 5 years from now.
Yeah.
Devin Booker will be 33, but hey, the Phoenix Suns weren't supposed to be as good as they are this year, and Dylan Brooks wasn't supposed to be as good as he is this year. So
Why people always hate on Dylan Brooks, bro? I never understood. I actually fuck with him because he doesn't back down from nobody. Like, you have to earn Dylan Brooks' respect, and I fuck with him. And especially from watching him on that Neon live stream, that made me fuck with him even more, bro. He cool as hell.
you never really
Shout out
know.
Dylan.
But the main headline is Memphis is the latest team to join the OKC Thunder rebuild model. Along with the San Antonio Spurs and the Brooklyn Nets, Memphis now has 13 first-round picks over the next 7 years. That ties them with the Nets and the Thunder for the most in the entire league. The real player assets are Walter Clayton Jr. and Taylor Hendricks.
Facts.
Clayton was the 18th pick in 2025 out of Florida, where he led the Gators to an NCAA championship. He's a 6'4" combo guard who shot nearly 39% from 3 in college. He's only 22 with legit scoring upside. Hendricks was the 9th pick in the 2023 draft out of UCF, a 6'9" forward who suffered a devastating leg injury in October of 2024. That cost
Hope he
him
get
his
better,
entire
bro.
sophomore season. He's back this year, but he's still finding his footing. As a former top 10 pick at 22 years old, Memphis is betting on his potential. Kyle Anderson and Georges Niang are salary filler and veteran depth. Nothing flashy there. So why would Memphis trade a 26-year-old, 2-time All-Star, Defensive Player of the Year winner that they just extended for $240 million?
I feel like what they should have did, they should have kept Jaren Jackson. They should have traded some other people on the Grizzlies. I don't know who they would have got rid of, maybe Ja. And they should have brought in Walter Clayton to pair him with Jaren Jackson. I feel like that would have been a great duo because as we seen Walter Clayton can take over a game immediately when at will. Like, that's just his gift.
Because this season is gone.
Natural talent.
They're 19 and 29. The Jaw situation has poisoned the locker room, and Jaren Jackson Jr. was the most valuable player on this roster. His value was at its peak, while Jaw's trade value is at an all-time low, with teams like the Bucks, Heat, and Raptors reportedly cooling on Ja Morant. Plus, the Grizzlies already have some young guys that they could get excited about that doesn't really fit the timeline of Jaren Jackson Jr. anymore. Their first-round pick in the 2025 NBA draft is clearly a hit. Cedric Howard has been phenomenal. 13.8 points, 6.3 rebounds as a rookie. Named to the Rising Stars game. They have Jalen Wells and Zach Edey when healthy, Santi Aldama on a new deal. You add Clayton and Hendricks to that mix, and they're at least building something.
I see what they're doing. Their Grizzlies are trying to build. I see why they got rid of him. Next, Ja is gonna go. And I forgot about Zach Edey, bro. Y'all should have told me that shit. Why didn't you tell me, bro? Walter Clayton, Zach Edey, and Hendricks together. That is a crazy duo, bro. Trio. Just imagine if they were in college, bro. That shit would be so fucking OD.
Now, fans are a little bit more confused about why Utah would make this trade. Typically, you go all in for a player like Jaren Jackson Jr. if he's the missing piece. When you're a good team that's trying to become a championship contender, the Utah Jazz are going from being an average team that clearly has a light at the end of the tunnel to a good
buckets.
team by making this trade. But I actually like this trade for Utah. Pairing Jaren Jackson Jr. with Lauri Markkanen gives them one of the best shooting bigs alongside one of the best
forgot about
shot-blocking
Lauri
bigs.
Markkanen.
Jaren Jackson Jr. has made over 100 3-pointers in 4 consecutive seasons while also recording 100 blocks.
Which is
That's
crazy for a
crazy
big, bro.
combination, and that opens up the floor for the Utah Jazz. You have Keontae George at point guard and Ace Bailey on the wing. That's
Ooh, no. That, hey, Jazz just cooked something, bro. On both ends, that might be beneficial to both ends. They got Keontae George, who's going crazy, averaging 20 plus. They got Jaren Jackson, Ace Bailey, Lauri Markkanen, however you say his fucking name. That's 4 people, bro. That ain't gonna lie. Jazz might be a finals contender, bro. I might be the first one to say it.
It's a real foundation. The Jazz now have a choice. They could either keep Walker Kessler next to Jaren Jackson Jr., but Evan Siddery says that rival teams are now wondering about Walker Kessler's future. So this trade is about to have a huge domino effect before Thursday's deadline.
Keep
So who
him
wins
for
this
sure.
trade? Well, Austin Reeves definitely wins this trade because he's staying on the Lakers, but I think both teams could look back on this positively. I'd give a slight edge to Memphis because of the sheer volume of picks that they now control. The comparisons to the OKC Thunder's rebuild are impossible to ignore. Sam Presti traded for Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, drafted Chet Holmgren and Jalen Williams, stockpiled picks for years,
Which is
and
crazy.
now the Thunder are the best team in basketball.
I think most teams should start doing that. Instead of trying to stack superstars for the now, I think a lot of teams need to start building for the future, and then they can have an outcome like OKC, because nobody thought OKC was going to come back and be this powerful as a team. Like, I ain't gonna lie, OKC, I give them the next 4 seasons, they're going to be final contenders for sure.
Zach Kleiman is clearly trying to run the same playbook. 13 first-round picks in 7 years. History tells us that having that many bites at the apple almost always works out.
Yep.
And now for the big question. Is Ja Morant getting traded before Thursday?
Yes.
Sham said just yesterday that there is definitely a chance Morant moves before the deadline.
Ja Morant is someone that has 2 years left on his contract after this year. There is a chance, definitely, that he moves before the deadline.
Evan Siddery added that more assets are potentially on the way with Ja being shopped in trade talks. And on Saturday, Ja posted a cryptic forward message on X. Time tells the truth. Here's my prediction, and feel free to clown me if I'm wrong. I think Ja actually stays with the Grizzlies past Thursday. Not because Memphis doesn't want to move him, but because they just can't get the return that they want right now.
Nah, because Ja's value is super low right now. So it would be great for any team to come to sweep him up and pick up on that investment. Because I feel like, I really think Ja can go to the Timberwolves, bro. I think they're already conference final contenders. They just need one more piece to add to the puzzle, and they're going to win championships. And I think they can beat OKC for sure. Let me know your thoughts.
Teams know that the Grizzlies are desperate, and they're trying to get Ja for pennies on the dollar.
Exactly.
I think they shut Ja down, tank for a top pick, and revisit the trade market this summer when more teams have cap space. But make no mistake, Ja's days in Memphis are numbered. The Jaren Jackson Jr. trade was the final nail in the coffin. It's kind of tragic because the Memphis Grizzlies went from one of the most exciting young cores in the NBA to a full-blown teardown in less than a year. First was Desmond Bane, and even though that trade worked out in Memphis's favor, it's still unfortunate. Now you move Jaren Jackson Jr. and probably Ja Morant when the time is right. 13 first-round picks, the biggest trade exception in league history. Memphis is betting everything on the future, and the question is whether the future will be worth the pain of watching the present. Let me know in the comment section down below.
Man, y'all let me know what y'all think about this situation, bro. It's crazy. I don't know why they broke up Memphis Grizzlies in the first place, bro. That was stupid. Anyways, make sure you leave a like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.